Hey y'all. So yeah, it's actually been several months since I last posted a video. It's been a really long summer. A lot of stuff going on, kind of rough. My herb garden isn't looking too good at the moment, and that's just because it was another hot day in Texas. Got up to about 93 degrees today, and I didn't get up early enough to water in the morning, so I'm about to actually start watering right now using this very foul smelling liquid, which is compost tea, with a bit of fish fertilizer in it. Just to know, if you're going to pour fish fertilizer in steeped compost tea, not brewed, I'd recommend not letting it sit for 2 days. It gets pretty bad smelling pretty quick. Still good for the plants though, not so good for your nose. What I've got going on here, I'm actually getting ready to plant some fall carrots. We've got a cool front coming through tomorrow evening. It's finally going to start cooling things down here. This is a very light, airy mixture here. It's a blend of soil that I had my spring crops in, the broccoli and potatoes. It's just been sitting with compost on top all summer, so the worms that are down in here was breaking that down for me. Then I added in sifted compost, pretty good amount of it, and the little white stuff you see I added perlite, which again, this is just really nice, light, and airy, perfect for growing carrots. Tomatoes don't like Texas heat too well. Thankfully I've got these guys. These are homesteads. Probably can't see them too well from the setting sun. Couldn't do this earlier because it was just too hot. But they're doing okay. They've got a few small tomatoes starting to grow. They're flowering again. They actually do pretty well in the heat. Not as well as I'd like, but what can you do? This is Texas. We have had a drought for the last 3 months. There's been like almost no rain for 3 months. Or at least here where I'm at. My mint, I've been able to keep them well watered. They're actually doing pretty well because they like it here in the shade. Fish pond. Thankfully, I had quite a bit of rainwater saved up from the flood season back in spring. So I've been able to take care of putting rainwater in the fish, but I'm down to the last half bucket. Found out that sweet potato vine actually does amazing in aquaponics. I've tried many different things in here, and this by far is the best. In fact, it's even starting to flower. And this was by accident. Some critter came in one night, knocked my plant over, snapped a piece off, so I just threw that piece in here, figured what the heck. And a month later, it took over. It's amazing. Water is much clearer now and the fish are loving it. Compost, not too much going on here because, again, drought in Texas. Plenty of brown material, not so much the green material. I'm actually going to go to Starbucks tomorrow and pick up a bag of coffee grounds to throw that in for some green material. This, my little garden buddy this year, if you can see her. This is a very big spider. I am arachnophobic, so I've had a real hard time dealing with her, but I leave her alone. She is a yellow garden spider. She eats the big flying pests that come through here. So I kind of don't mess with her. She leaves me alone. The only problem is her web is attached to my compost bin where I store my finished compost. So we sometimes have arguments over getting into my finished compost. The peppers, now that the weather's cooling off, are doing great. Especially this here. This is a gypsy hybrid. I actually found these. I didn't grow these from seed like most of my rest of my plants this year. I actually found these at Home Depot. Lowe's also will sometimes carry them. They are a sweet pepper. They're a pretty good size, as you can see. This one's huge. And they are delicious. When they're ripe, they turn a bright red color. And I found that if you split them in half, de-seed them, and take the stem off, stuff them with a cream cheese mixture with chicken and some hot wing sauce, and bake them in the oven. Oh man, those were so good. I don't personally like heat. what my dad does. So this is my jalapeno. This is a cool jalapeno. It is supposed to be a heatless jalapeno. It's doing pretty good, actually. It's got quite a few peppers on it now, so we'll see how these turn out. When they start turning red, I'll do a taste test and we'll see how they are. This is a sweet snacking pepper, which did absolutely nothing through the summer. It grew really big, got a pretty good height. This is 4-foot bamboo pole, so it's about literally a 4-foot plant because they're a foot down in their bucket. And yeah, now that the weather has dropped down to below 100 degrees, it's finally starting to put out some little peppers. So we'll see how these taste. They're supposed to be a sweet snacking pepper, like the type that you can buy in the grocery store, so hopefully these will taste pretty good. Poblanos. Again, my poblanos are a lot smaller than what you're used to seeing in the stores, or stuffed chilerianos, but they may be small, but they got some flavor. I love this plant. This is actually a second year plant. I saved it over the winter, and I'm going to try to do it again, save it again this winter, and grow it again next year. As you can see, my peppers are doing amazing. They're getting big, they're flowering, they're putting off fruit. Got some banana peppers down here. This is some more of these gypsies. My 2-year-old bell pepper plant is starting to kind of go downhill. It's not doing too well. It put off some really delicious, albeit small, bell peppers back in the summer, but it's not really doing too well at the moment. We'll see how it goes. Probably pull it out of that corner and let it get some more sunlight. This here is a mammoth jalapeno. Again, got some peppers starting down there. This is the type that's supposed to get the really big jalapenos that are great for jalapeno poppers. We'll see how that goes. Another jalapeno. I've never grown basil before. I didn't realize how prolific basil was, so yeah, basil kind of took over. Lesson learned. I'm not growing this much basil next year because I have enough already saved this year, chopped up and frozen in olive oil to last me for quite a while. You'll notice the stakes here. This spot actually used to be where I had my early girl and 4th of July tomatoes. They produce some beautiful, delicious tomatoes in late spring, early summer, but they didn't, unfortunately, survive the Texas summer. These didn't do too well, but they survived, and now that the weather's cooling off, they're putting out a whole bunch of fresh green new foliage. So I've got high hopes, and a lot of little flowers. I've got high hopes of getting some more sweet tomatoes at least. These are both cherry tomatoes, Gardener's Delight and Sweet 100, so helping to get a good crop of sweet cherry tomatoes. Peppermint, lots of it. My lemongrass, I mostly got that as a mosquito repellent, and it's working. Between lemongrass, peppermint, and all this basil everywhere, and the marigolds, and the fish pond with my fish eating any mosquito larvae. I'll tell you, mosquito population has dropped 99% since last year. It's amazing. And my attempt at a watermelon in an 8-gallon bucket. And there you go, it is possible. That is a little bitty watermelon, but I've already had a couple of them off this vine, and they were really good. That was a cantaloupe. Produced one vine, one small melon. That melon was so sweet and so delicious. So, lesson learned. Next year, they're going to be in the ground. Next year, actually, this entire section from that black composting bin all the way down to the end where the greenhouse is sitting, this is all going to be raised bed. I'm going to actually build a raised bed in this area. So, yeah, that's what's going on.